Hey YouTube, it's your girl Jo, and I'm here with a video. And this video is a little bit different. If you guys see in the title, it is called So You Wanted to Go Away to School. And yes, this video is about college, but it's a little bit different. This video is actually not about going away to school, it's about staying home. And whether you're staying home because you couldn't afford it, your parents didn't want you to go away, or you didn't even have the grades to get into the school that you wanted to, this video is for us because I feel like we are not really recognized as far as college and school or whatever. You get a lot of videos on YouTube about how to set up your dorm room, or how to deal with roommates, or how to cope with being away. Nobody really makes a video about those of us that have to stay home for school. So this video is for y'all. So firstly, I just want to tell you guys my story as far as why I am home. Basically, since I was a freshman in high school, I knew I wanted to go away for school. And that was just something that I always looked forward to. But as it turned out, my senior year, my mom was injured on her job, and so she stopped working. And my father wasn't too supportive of me going away, which is a whole different story. We're not even going to get into that. But yeah, I applied to all my schools, got into most of them. When I tell you most of them, I really mean practically all of them. And I just couldn't afford it. I could have taken out student loans and whatever, but it would have just been so much. So as it turns out, I had to stay home for school. It was actually one of the most depressing times that I've had, just because of the fact that I didn't know that I had to stay home for school until about May of my senior year. And if you guys know, in New York City we graduate in June. So a month before my graduation, that's when I knew that I'd have to stay home, which was really, really hard for me. It especially sucked when you're talking to your friends about where they're going away to school, and it sucked at the end of the summer when all your friends leave and you are the one home. So that actually sucked really, really bad, and I cried so long and so hard because I wanted to go away, and that was something that I really wanted, and I couldn't have it, and there was nothing I could do about it. But I had to eventually get over it, and I had to make the best out of my situation. So that is what I'm here for. I wanted to make a video telling you guys my advice on how to cope with staying home even though you wanted to go away, and I hope it helps. So before we get into it, I actually want to show you guys, I saved my acceptance packages. This one is for Temple, one of the schools that I wanted to go to. And this one is for Drexel, which is my dream school, but it is so expensive. And I know I'm a dork because I saved the packages even though I didn't go to the school. But I basically saved it just to remind myself, listen, like, you know, you're local, you're not at the school you wanted to go to, but you got into these schools and these schools wanted you. And you know what, it didn't work out for me, but I am still thankful that I was accepted into these schools. So my first piece of advice to y'all is pick yourself up. Yes, it is depressing. It sucks to be home for school. Yes, I know this firsthand, but you're going to have to pick yourself up. You're going to have to accept the fact that, listen, I can't go away to school. This is where I'm going to be at. I'm going to stay home with my mama. So you got to accept it and just make the best of your situation, whatever that situation may be. Make the best of it. Next, be active. Try to make friends. Join a club, go to school events, do what you can to just basically not make yourself a loner at school. It is so hard when you're local to make friends, and it's so much easier for those of you who are dorming because you are able to make friends in your dorm room. You have your roommate and you have other people in your vicinity, wherever you live or whatever, that you can socialize with. And then there are the on-campus events. Basically, you're stuck in this space, so you basically have to make some sort of friends. As for me and those of us who are staying locally, basically you have to make that effort to make friends, whether it may be talking to that person in your class or just joining a club. And what I actually did, I joined a club. I joined the Haitian Student Association at my school, even though I'm Jamaican. Now listen, it don't really make sense, but the Haitian club at my school is pretty international. It has a bunch of different races, it's a bunch of different people. It's just a cool place to hang out. So I joined that, and that was probably one of the best decisions I've made for my college career because it allowed me to make different friends. It allowed me to have some sort of entertainment, and for me to not feel so alone in school, especially when you're on your social media and you see your friends away at school making all these other friends and you feel so lonely. Because if you're local, a lot of times you just go into your school and go into your classes and leave and go back home, and that kind of sucks, especially when most of your friends are away and you don't really have that much people to hang out with. College is not like high school where you have a bunch of different classes with the same people. No, you have different classes and you're lucky to have more than one class with the same person. So you have to actually be proactive in making friends. And as far as events, you can go to different events. They have school parties. Even if we're local, we do have school parties. Sometimes we do turn up. You can go to school parties. There are also events like fashion shows and talent shows. My freshman year, I did my school fashion show, and it was interesting. I will say it was very interesting, but I did make friends, and I can say I did it. And I will post a couple of pictures so you guys can see. But that was a fun experience for me too. And if you guys didn't want to model, I know a lot of people who are subscribed to me do makeup and hair. You guys can volunteer to do makeup or volunteer to do hair for the fashion show, but there always some sort of club that can appeal to you and your different interests, and something that you can do. Well, your school is catering to you, so just make sure you take advantage of those resources and just make friends. Don't make yourself a loner. Next, I would advise you to take it seriously. Take your classes seriously. Do not slack. College is no joke. You are paying for these classes. You are paying a lot of money for these classes. Take it seriously. And I mean, I know that it's not just for those of us who are at home. It's for anybody who's in school. Take your classes seriously. I would advise that you meet with your advisor. Make sure you're on track to graduating, or this major is what you want to do. Just don't waste your time in school. Another thing, there is a site called RateMyProfessor.com, and it is so good if you go on this site while you're registering for classes. So basically the site, you go on, click your school name, you have different subjects, different teachers, and basically you click the teacher and they tell you about the teacher, the course that they're teaching, how easy the class is, if they give a lot of homework. It's basically like talking to your friends about how this class was and if you should join this class. So Rate My Professor, that's a great resource for you. I mean, who wants a hard class? Who wants a teacher that gives a lot of homework? I bet it ain't me. So Rate My Professor is a good option for figuring out what class you want to register for. Next is to reevaluate your options. And I would suggest you do this maybe a semester or a year into that school. Reevaluate if this is where you want to stay for the next 2 to 4 years. I know it didn't work out for you originally when you wanted to go away, but it might work out for you later on. Maybe you realize that financial aid kicks in and you can maybe afford it with a little bit of loans. Or maybe you realize you're going to have to take out a lot of loans, but you're just unhappy at the school you're at. Maybe you realize that maybe this school was too expensive, but if I go to another school. Or maybe you have picked up your grades and you think that you might have a better chance of getting into the school that you want. But I would suggest that you reevaluate your options. And maybe you might even decide, like, listen, this is not originally where I wanted to go, but this school is not so bad. So I'm just going to stay here and make the best out of the situation. Lastly, just because you are not away at school does not mean that you cannot get that away experience. Me, I have visited a lot of my friends' schools. I have showered in communal showers. Nasty. Nasty. But I've showered in communal showers. I've gone to college parties. I have ate dorm food. I have slept in those tiny beds. So yeah, I would just suggest visiting your friends at their schools and getting that experience. You can go out there for the weekend, whether it may be homecoming or spring fling or whatever. You can even spend a week out there, because a lot of times when you're local, your spring break is different from the spring break of the away colleges. So you can spend your week out there and just spend some time with your friends. So that's about it. Shout out to those of us who are going to school locally and making it work for us. And yeah, if you guys like these sort of videos, please do let me know down below, and also give it a thumbs up. And if you guys have any suggestions of any more real talk videos that you guys want me to do, let me know down below. And yeah, I will talk to y'all later. Bye.